Guys, here's a walkthrough how to code up your video story and a tip for making YouTube embedding easier. I'm going to switch my view here to columns because it gives me some more room. Your story is standard, headline, byline, and copy. What you need to do is embed the YouTube video. Now, YouTube makes this easy, generates a script for you, and you can paste that iframe in, but you'll notice there's a problem. The iframes are hard to control the size of and can't be made responsive. What we need is some custom JavaScript to do this. And there's an excellent open source tool you may have already used for your audio project known as the plyr media player. It's essentially just JavaScript and CSS that's been customized to make it easy to embed YouTube videos. To incorporate into CodePen, you have to link to the JavaScript library and also link out to the custom CSS that's used to design the buttons and make it look nice. The way plyr works is it expects a simple empty div, and it uses a couple of HTML attributes to tell it where the video is coming from and the actual ID of that video. Your video ID is the string of numbers on the end of your video's URL. One line of JavaScript will do this. We start by making a constant, which is abbreviated, for my video, and we point it to a new player. Now the player needs to be told to use the div, and that's all it takes to create a very nice, elegant, responsive video player, and the CSS here is providing the look of all these buttons and controls. Now the CSS can be whatever you like, but I'll show you some tips with mine. The first thing I like to do is reset everything, so I have to explicitly be in control. I add some space to the body and a nice background gradient. The syntax looks weird, but it's pretty predictable once you play with it. One note is if you try to put a gradient from top to bottom, it may not fill the whole screen unless you tell the body to be the full height of your window. And then style the type and fonts however you like. Here's a fun modern tip using the new Flexbox properties. If I want my headline and byline to be side by side, I can group those two things in a parent header and then use Flexbox on the parent to align and distribute the content inside of it. Move my text down a little bit, change the color, and this pen is done. Now, about big picture layout and making sure it looks good on the phone. You notice the page is pretty responsive. The most common way to do this is to explicitly declare a maximum width for the body. And it floats in the center because I'm using automatic margins. Without those, everything would be pushed to the left-hand side of the page. So a set width and auto margins is a standard trick for desktop. To further polish things for mobile, say I want my head and byline to be stacked instead of side by side, I can use a media query to create style sheets that only come into play when the width of the screen is small. Here I'm changing the flex direction to column, so they stack up. And I can choose the flex start to push them to the side, maybe add a little extra margin. And that's a tour of this pen. Looking forward to seeing yours.